They called it the match of the century. Two 15-year-olds, both golf prodigies, both carrying impossible legacies, both destined for greatness. Miles Russell had just become the youngest player to make a cut on the Korn Ferry Tour record that shook the golf world. Charlie Woods had his father's DNA, his swing, his fire. When they finally faced each other on the course, everyone expected a battle for the ages. What they got instead was a masterclass in destruction. 30 minutes in, Miles knew he was in trouble. By the back nine, it wasn't even close. What Charlie did that day wasn't just winning, it was sending a message that echoed through every junior tournament in America. Asterisk. If you want to witness the birth of golf's next ruthless champion, see how pressure reveals who's built different. And understand why some athletes are simply wired for domination? Smash that subscribe button right now. What you're about to see will change how you think about talent versus destiny. Asterisk, asterisk. Let's get one thing straight from the jump. Miles Russell is not some random kid who got lucky. At 14 years old, this phenom from Jacksonville Beach became the youngest golfer in history to make a cut on a Korn Ferry Tour event, not the Junior Tour, not some local qualifier. The Korn Ferry Tour, where grown men with families and mortgages are grinding to keep their dreams alive. Miles walked onto that course and outplayed professionals who'd been swinging clubs since before he was born. The golf world lost its mind. Analysts were calling him the future. Magazines put him on covers. Sponsors started circling like sharks, smelling blood in the water. He had the resume, the confidence, and the game to back it up. Miles Russell wasn't just good for his age, he was legitimately elite, period. His swing was smooth, his mental game was sharp, and he'd proven he could handle pressure that would crush most adults. But here's the thing about being the youngest to do something. It only lasts until someone younger comes along. Or until you run into someone who doesn't care about your records because they're too busy building their own legacy. Enter Charlie Woods. The son. The heir. The kid who's been under a microscope since he could walk. While Miles was making history on the Korn Ferry Tour, Charlie was doing something arguably harder, living up to the name on the back of his shirt, while the entire world compared every single shot to his father's legendary career. People don't understand the psychological warfare that comes with being Tiger Woods' son. Every tournament isn't just about Charlie's performance, it's about whether he's worthy of the bloodline. Every missed putt gets analyzed. Every bad round becomes a referendum on whether genetics actually matter. The pressure would have destroyed 99% of kids before they hit puberty. But Charlie isn't wired like 99% of kids. Watch him on the course, and you'll see something eerie: the same mannerisms, same pre-shot routine, the same cold-blooded focus that made Tiger the most feared competitor in golf history. It's not cosplay. It's in his DNA. The way he reads greens, the way he manages his emotions, the way he attacks pins when he smells blood. It's all there. So when the junior golf circuit started buzzing about a potential matchup between Charlie Woods and Miles Russell, it wasn't just another tournament. This was the golf world's version of a heavyweight title fight. Two prodigies. Two completely different origin stories. One proven record breaker versus one legendary surname. The question on everyone's mind was simple. When the pressure's on and the scorecards matter, who's really built for this? The tournament was packed. College scouts lined the fairways. Professional players showed up to watch. Social media was already creating highlight packages before the first tee shot. Miles came in confident, and why wouldn't he? He'd already done what most people thought was impossible. In his mind, this was just another step in proving he belonged in conversations with anyone, regardless of age or last name. Charlie showed up with that same quiet intensity his father made famous. No trash talk. No Instagram posts. No theatrics. Just that look, the one that says he's already won the match, in his head before either of them struck a ball. The first few holes were competitive. Miles came out sharp, hitting fairways, making pars, showing everyone why he'd earned his reputation. Charlie matched him shot for shot. Nothing flashy, just solid, fundamental golf. The crowd was electric. This was exactly the battle everyone wanted to see. Two kids at the absolute peak of their generation, trading blows, neither giving an inch. But around the fifth hole, something shifted. It was subtle at first, the kind of thing only people who really understand golf would notice. Miles hit a good drive, but Charlie hit a better one. Miles found the green, but Charlie found it closer. Miles made par, but Charlie made birdie. Slowly, methodically, Charlie started turning the screws. Here's where it got psychological. Miles started pressing. Not dramatically, not like he was falling apart. But you could see it, that tiny bit of extra effort, that slight change in his routine. That microscopic hesitation before pulling the trigger. He was still playing well by any objective standard. But he'd stopped playing his game and started reacting to Charlie's game. And that's when Charlie smelled blood. Anyone who's watched Tiger Woods dominate knows that shift from playing the course to hunting his opponent. Charlie inherited that predator instinct. When he sensed Miles was rattled, he didn't back off. He stepped on the gas. The back nine was absolutely brutal. Charlie started going at pins that most professionals would play safe. Aggressive lines off the tee. Approach shots that dared the course to fight back. And the insane part? He was pulling it off birdie, birdie, par, birdie. The kid was putting on a clinic. And Miles was forced to watch this masterclass while trying to salvage his own round. Asterisk, asterisk by the 15th hole. Miles' body language told the whole story. Shoulders slightly slumped. Less conversation with his caddy. That forced smile that athletes put on when they're trying to convince themselves they're still in it. He wasn't playing bad golf. Charlie had just elevated to a level that made good look inadequate. The gallery knew it. The scouts knew it. Most importantly, Miles knew it. This wasn't about one hot round or a lucky day. This was about hierarchy. This was about Charlie establishing that all the hype, all the comparisons, all the expectations, they weren't pressure. They were fuel. Charlie closed out the match with a birdie on 18 because of course he did. Not because he needed it, but because champions finish strong. The final margin wasn't close enough to be called competitive. It was decisive. It was definitive. It was a statement. After they shook hands, Miles handled it with class. He congratulated Charlie, smiled for the cameras, and said all the right things. But if you looked closely at his eyes, you could see at that realization that he just encountered something different. Miles had played against talented kids before. He'd even played against professionals. But he'd never played against someone who carried that specific combination of skill, pedigree, and killer instinct. The post-match analysis was fascinating. Golf experts started breaking down what happened, and the consensus was clear. Miles Russell is absolutely an elite talent with a bright future. On any other day against 99% of junior golfers, he wins that match easily. But Charlie Woods isn't 99% of anything. He's the 1% of the 1%, and he proved it when the lights were brightest. Social media exploded. Clips of Charlie's shots went viral. The comparisons to young Tiger became unavoidable. But here's what made it truly interesting. The way Charlie handled the victory. No showboating. No disrespect. Just quiet confidence. He'd made his point, and he didn't need to say a word about it. For Miles, this wasn't the end of his story, it was a chapter. The greatest athletes all have that moment where they face someone better and have to decide what it means. Does it break you, or does it make you work harder? Does it reveal your ceiling, or does it raise it? Miles has the talent to be special. The question is whether that loss lights a fire or plants a seed of doubt. But for Charlie, this was confirmation. All those years of living under impossible expectations, of having every swing compared to his father's, of dealing with pressure that would crush most adults, it's been forging something dangerous. He's not trying to be Tiger Woods, he's becoming Charlie Woods. And that might be even scarier. The scary part for everyone else in junior golf? Charlie's still 15. He's still growing. His game is still developing. And if this is what he's capable of now, imagine what happens when he hits his physical peak. When he gains another 20 yards off the tee, when he has 5 more years of tournament experience, the other junior phenoms out there should be paying attention. Because Charlie just sent a message. Records are cute. But when we line up head to head, pedigree matters. Genetics matter. And that fire that made Tiger Woods the most dominant force in golf history, it burns just as hot in his son. Miles Russell will recover. He's too talented, too young, too hungry not to. He'll have his moments, his victories, his own path to professional success. But he'll always remember the day he learned that some opponents aren't just better on one afternoon, they're built different on a cellular level. This wasn't about one tournament. It was about hierarchy in a generation. It was about who's ready to carry the weight of expectations and who needs more time to grow into them. It was about the difference between being really good and being born for this. Charlie Woods walked off that course having proven something important, not to the crowd, not to the scouts, but to himself. He can do this. He can handle the pressure. He can live up to the name. And when the competition gets tougher, when the stakes get higher, he gets better. That's not something you can teach. That's not something you can practice. That's DNA. That's legacy. That's what happens when greatness breeds greatness, and the next generation refuses to let the fire die. Miles. Russell didn't stand a chance not because he isn't good enough. He is. He didn't stand a chance because on that day, in that moment, he was facing someone who's been preparing for pressure since before he understood what it meant. Someone who sees expectations not as burden, but as birthright. The golf world is watching. They just got their answer about who's next. Charlie Woods isn't coming. He's already here.